Happy New Year's, gamers from around the world. This is Boxenberger, the video game enthusiast from Germany, and I would like to welcome you to the first episode of 2026. I do hope your new year started off well. I do hope that you will have a healthy and successful and joyful 2026. Happy New Year to you too, Dutch. How are you doing today, my man?
Yeah, I'm doing well. I'm doing very well. I've just first week back of after about just over 3 weeks off work. So yeah, that's fun.
Sweet. Sorry,
I'm just grabbing the kitten as I have a new kitten called Cooper, and you won't see him on camera because he's being a little rascal at the moment. But I'm going to kick him out the room because otherwise he'll just break everything.
All right.
Right.
All right. We can handle the new kitten during the podcast somehow. But that's why the camera is off. So, good stuff.
He's very playful, very scratchy. So
how old is he?
He is 14 weeks.
14 weeks. So, and you just got him. Yeah. Nice. Guys, big welcome again to this episode of the World of Gaming. Unusual times, Dutch. Usually in the first week of the year, you don't get that many news and things. But this week, actually, we have quite a few topics to talk about. We had basically breaking news, right? Just a couple of hours before the show. Xbox announced the Developer Direct. We'll have a big preview for the year 2026 and a lot of other stuff to discuss here today. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'm happy to see a lot of familiar names, a couple of new names in the chat. So big welcome to you guys. Hope your year started well. I also had a few days off work in between Christmas and New Year's. So plenty of time to game, actually. I actually gamed so much. I didn't expect that because the kids also were at home, and usually I spent more time with the kids, but this time they were like outside all day playing in the snow, and Daddy had so much time to game. But we'll discuss that in a minute. So, welcome to you guys. Again, hope you guys have had an awesome start for 2026, and that gaming-wise 2026 is looking absolutely stellar. It's gonna be one hell of a year for video games. Lots of big releases, lots of cool-looking smaller releases as well this year. So I'm excited, man, for the year. And we'll break it down. But before we do all that, of course, we need to talk about the most important part in video games, and that are the games that we are playing. So everyone in the chat, let us know what you guys have been playing lately in Dutch. What kept you busy over the last weeks?
Yeah, to be fair, obviously, other than a kitten, who's running rapid around the home, and then attempting to game again, just playing on the Switch because I keeping an eye on him. So I got Hogwarts Legacy on the Switch not too long ago, so playing a bit of that.
How does it run on the Switch 2 now?
Yeah, it runs, obviously Switch 2, it runs really well. It looks obviously, as it being a handheld, it looks good as well. So no, it's really nice.
Does it have a dedicated Switch 2 upgrade?
Yeah, it's got a dedicated Switch 2 version. It has some ray traced reflections in it as well. So they've obviously definitely done the work on it. But it works well. There was a couple of things, I think, on initial startup. There was a couple very minor stutters, but it was very minor. It wasn't in gameplay. It was more in the cutscenes. And I don't really give a toss whether or not it stutters a tiny bit in the cutscene, because I'm not playing the cutscene. As long as it worked well when I'm playing the game, it's all that matters to me. And yeah, other than that, just been playing Pokemon Legends EA and Violet,
Okay.
and going through those again. And again, that's just because I can play a little bit, put it down, keep an eye on him, and then pick it back up again and play a little bit more. And when he's asleep, then play a little bit without going upstairs and turning on the Xbox and things like that. So,
Sweet.
yeah, that's pretty much all I've been doing. Nothing massively exciting. I did install Shadow of the Tomb Raider again on PC, and started playing that a little bit as well.
I've been thinking about that as well, but I don't want to saturate my thirst for Tomb Raider with Shadows, which I finished twice already. So
yeah,
before the new one drops. So
yeah. Well, they've got the remake. Nicely, they've got the remake of the original Tomb Raider coming first.
Yeah. I
Should be
can't
nice.
wait for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet. So let us see what the community has been playing. Juba in this chat says he's been playing Dredge. Just caught the last fish, and now he's almost done with it. And then off to Final Fantasy 1 that just hit Game Pass. Yeah, man. As of today, it is available in Game Pass. I've downloaded it actually on my Rock Alley. Haven't started it yet though. That's you, the big Final Fantasy guy. Do you intend to play that Final Fantasy 1 again?
Not one. One isn't definitely. It's not one of the well-remembered Final Fantasies. Put it that way.
Yeah.
It is a classic, and again, it's from the Pixel remaster, so that's nice. But based on that, my thinking is that they're going to just drop a Final Fantasy Pixel remaster every month.
Yeah.
So I would say, I think people should look forward to the 6th month in June when Final Fantasy VI Pixel remaster drops, because that is the GOAT.
Well, the GOAT still is 7, so
no 6.
7, definitely.
697.
796. All right, so we got that covered. James Shadow Drop says he needs to finish the Tomb Raider game. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that I've been playing the shitload out of Octopath Traveler 0. I actually finished it. It was fantastic. Absolutely amazing. I've just finished it.
Is it your favorite Octopath?
Absolutely. I mean, obviously, if you don't like turn-based JRPGs, this game isn't for you. But if you do enjoy turn-based combats, this is one of the best turn-based combat games I've played in many, many years, honestly. Octopath Traveler 0 was absolutely phenomenal. I finished it after about 80 hours. I did do all the side quests I could found, at least. Yeah. And finished all the mainline quest lines, and went for the real and true ending. After finishing the main story, you basically, in the epilogue, you get to make a choice, and depending on that choice, you get the real ending, or the game just ends. I went for the real ending, and the thing is, if you've played an Octopath Traveler game before, they were always awesome, but also very grindy games.
Yeah.
Right. In Octopath 1 and 2, you always hit that point where you just needed to grind for a couple of hours to level up your party, to level up the companions that are not in your party because they didn't level up with you. And it is not once in Octopath Traveler 0 I had to go for a grind. Not once. is so well balanced in terms of how you level up. It's also very different. You can have up to 33 characters. You can or 32 characters you can actually find. You find the 33rd one you can find and play, but no spoilers. It's actually 32 characters you can find, and this time you can put up to 8 of those into your party. And so there's really no need to level your party up because they all level up with you.
Yeah.
That makes the switching in between characters much easier. And there's just no need for grind, right? It's a fantastic written game, fantastic written story that branches out a lot, comes together, branches out a lot. It is fantastic. There's some sort of base building in the game. It's no spoilers for the game, but because it's happening like in the first 10 or 15 minutes of the game, your home village basically gets burned down, and you have to build that up again throughout the game, and then you can build like training grounds for your characters, or you can build a farm in that village where you can grow food and resources that you need for other things. And it is really, really well done. It's not like a super in-depth base building, but it makes sense to do that, to invest a little in that base building, and it's super fun. Great story, great combat system. They've actually, I mean, they kept the original idea of the combat system. Yeah, find out the weak spots of the enemy, damage them on the weak spots until they are dazzled, and then you can actually do real damage. This is the same system. But this time you have like a front row and a back row of your party. In each row you have 4 characters, and you can during combat swap in between those, and that makes it a lot more tactical because you can play around a lot with different combinations of, okay, if this character does that and I switch front and back row with that character, with those 2 characters, then I can do this, and it's so much fun. I really, really enjoyed Octopath Traveler 0, and I'm actually, do you know that blues you get sometimes when you spend 80 hours in a game and you are totally immersed, and then you don't know what to start next?
Yep.
Even though you have a shitload of games you actually want to play, but it's just, and this is one of those games, right? It is just absolutely phenomenal. And I couldn't recommend it more. It's $50 only, and worth every cent. Had an absolute blast. It's also play anywhere for those who do own an Ellie or something. So that was also a nice convenience for me, going back and forth in between the console and the handheld. So yeah, Octopath Traveler 0 was the main game I've played over the last weeks. But I also continued, of course, my grind in Ball X Pit a little. And that I re-downloaded actually 2 games. Diablo 4, the Paladin is out as a playable class. I've started that again, and honestly, it's been, I want to say, almost a year. When did the last expansion come out? Yeah, let's say a year or so. And since I've played Diablo 4, and they've changed so much in the game, it almost feels like a complete new game. Like everything from crafting to how you progress with your abilities, the paladin system, everything's changed, man. It feels almost like a new game. So I'm playing the paladin class. I want to prepare myself and get back into Diablo before the expansion comes out. So I've played around with that. I forgot to record gameplay footage though, so no Diablo footage available here today in the poll. And I've also, with all the rumors, and we'll get to them in a second, of course, reinstalled or rebooted up The Witcher 3 again for a little. Especially now after finishing Octopath, I just started to go into something familiar, something I'm super comfortable with, So
yeah,
that was basically my gaming time over the last two and a half weeks since our last podcast. All right, Dutch. All right. So before we get into some news, let's see what the community has voted here today to watch as gameplay footage. I put the option because, for reasons, we'll get to them in a second, of Fable, the original Fable, and people have actually voted for that. So we're gonna watch some OG Fable. Well, it's not really OG Fable. It's the, Fable 1 remaster that came out on the 360. So, but it's footage from that game, but it's actually running on the Xbox Series X. So, yeah. All right, Dutch. I'd say let's talk about some news. I've already teasered the big news big news. The rumor of Witcher 3 getting a new DLC. That rumor has been floating around for quite a few weeks now. Actually, some analysts came out in the beginning and saying, CD Projekt Red might release a new DLC for The Witcher 3. And I mean, in May or so, The Witcher 3 turns 11 years old. And then a lot of people picked that up. And actually today, IGN, to be more precise, IGN Poland, posted some information they have received about that. So apparently there really is a Witcher 3 DLC in the works. It's developed by Fool's Theory. That's this partner studio that does the Witcher 1 remake, actually. Yeah. And it is supposed to come out in May this year. So basically with the 11th anniversary of The Witcher 3. It's getting a new DLC. It's most likely will only be available on PS5, Xbox Series X, and PC, not on the last gen versions of the game. Right? It's supposed to bridge the gap in between The Witcher 3 and Witcher 4. It will add a new map to the game, and it is playing in in a desert environment that could possibly be Serikania, right? For those who played The Witcher 3, there was a short sequence where Geralt was in Serikania, actually. And the new map that they will add is a desert environment, and it would only make sense for it to be Serikania, right? And yeah, the storyline is supposedly going to bridge to close the gap in between Witcher 3 and 4. So this is usually you and I both are really careful with these alleged rumors and stuff, but this is a very precise leak and rumor, right? And usually those turn out to be true. That's very unusual for a game 11 years after launch to receive a massive size DLC. It's the DLC size is rumored to be on the level of Blood and Wine, which was a massive expansion, at least 25-30 hours, right? It's supposed to be in this size. It's not just like one quest or something. It's apparently a full-fledged proper DLC 11 years after launch. Dutch, what are your thoughts, man?
Yeah, it's very surprising. To be fair, it was yourself that sent me the well, you even said that one of the topics for next week it'll be the Witcher 3 DLC, and I was like, Witcher 3 DLC? What what are you talking about? So I had to Google it and look up, and yeah, it was in apparently the financial reports as well from CD Projekt Red, who were saying, "Oh, we're expecting to get some a little bit of a boost next year from the DLC, which we'll be releasing for The Witcher." And I was like, "What?" That's very surprising.
Yeah.
So, and it's obviously if they're expecting on a financial year for it to impact, then that means it will be this year, and it will be relatively soonish. If they're expecting it to impact the entire year's financials, then it'll be relatively soon for that to kind of take account. So we're talking maybe within the next 4 or 5 months, I would imagine we might see that.
May is what the rumors say, right?
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, very surprising. I mean, we'll never see no more Witcher 3 DLC. If it's anywhere near the level of what we got with like the Blood and Wine, etc., then I'm all for it. But by all accounts, it's being developed by a third party that was doing that. Yeah, that's doing the Witcher 1 remake.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. Story-wise, I mean, how that turns out. So yeah, it's super interesting. Of course, being a major Witcher 3 fan yourself, you'll be super excited as well.
Yeah, true that. I truly hope this rumor is going to turn out true. Obviously, The Witcher 3 is one of my most loved games, right? I've done full 5.5 full playthroughs of The Witcher 3, including all DLC. Do own it on basically every system, and I absolutely love it. It it is weird that a game this old, I mean, it's almost 11 years old now, yeah, is getting such a massive expansion, but it would only make sense, right, to bridge that gap in between Witcher 3 and 4, to bring Witcher 3 back after such a long time on the radar of people for the hype for Witcher 4. I'm curious that, because this would be massive, right? It would be massive for CD Projekt Red. Like you said, not directly developed by them, but definitely supervised. I mean, it's their flagship IP, right? They are not letting Fool's Theory running loose and doing whatever they want. There will definitely be quality control over there. So I'm not too worried about that it's not from the core studio, because that studio is, well, busy with Witcher 4. May does sound weird a little, because where would they announce it, right? There's really no, they could announce that during Summer Game Fest. They could announce it during, obviously, the June showcase from Xbox or something. They didn't announce it during the Game Awards, but to release it now before any of the big shows where you could get like real good attention, I don't know. On the other hand, does it really need such a big show for an announcement in this day and age? The internet would go wild if they just announce it, well, I don't know, in February with a big trailer or a short stream or something. So yeah, man, I would be absolutely excited if this would actually be true. A lot of people already out there suggesting, hey guys, you need to look after your save files, right? Do you still have your save file from your playthrough, so you can continue on that? I actually do have to look. I have so many save files, but which is the one I want to use to continue this on? Because I've tried to do a lot of things always differently. During one time I dated Triss, one time I dated Yennefer, then I dated both of them. I made this and that decision. I've seen all the main endings from the storyline, and I need to think about it. Which storyline do I want to continue, right? this DLC then. By the way, the funniest thing is if you date both Triss and Yennefer, what will happen then? Hilarious. But yeah, Dutch, would be absolutely awesome to have a Witcher 3 DLC in that size. Would be really cool. All right. Another rumor, Dutch, is Wolfenstein 3 is circulating. That comes actually from Jess Corden from Windows Central, good friend of the show. We had him on here before. I haven't talked to him in a while. We need to get back in touch with him. But anyway, he put out that Machine Games is reportedly working on a Wolfenstein 3, and additionally a Rainbow Six Siege style type of multiplayer game. Those are the two titles that they are working on, and Wolfenstein 3 could potentially accompany the TV series that is currently in production, right? And
yeah,
I mean, that actually would make sense, because the one thing that Xbox really screwed up with the Fallout series is to not have anything Fallout related when that series dropped. And season 1 especially was super hyped. Everyone was super surprised by the quality of the TV show, and Fallout was trending all over the place, and they didn't have anything in place. Now, currently, season 2 is running. Maybe it's just my timeline, but it's a little quieter about that. The show, on the other hand, is still awesome and absolutely fantastic. I've watched the first 4 episodes that they have released so far, and it's really good still. And with Wolfenstein 3, they could rectify that mistake if a TV show comes out and it's actually good, right?
Yeah.
To have a Wolfenstein 3 more or less in parallel with that would absolutely make sense. So, what are your thoughts on this, Dutch?
Yeah, I would also agree. It would absolutely make sense to do it in parallel. I don't really have anything else to add to what you were saying.
So, I mean, Machine Games had a big interview, I want to say like 6 months ago or so, maybe 7 months, something like that, where they absolutely banked down on, okay, they are not done with Wolfenstein yet, that they had this storyline of Blazkowicz always in mind as a trilogy, and if you've played the first 2 games, it would absolutely make sense to have a third one to round off the story, right? I just don't. I was a little confused when I heard Chess talk about this. That the studio is also in parallel, apparently 2 different projects. I hope that's true. That they have a Rainbow Six Siege like type of game, because we already had the multiplayer Wolfenstein game, right? The one with the twins. I can't even remember the name. That really wasn't good, right? And I want Wolfenstein 3 to be this single player experience, just in the veins of the first 2, because the first 2, the New Order and New Colossus, were absolutely awesome. So, what do you think, man? Are they trying to? Is this really 2 different projects? Are they trying to put some multiplayer in Wolfenstein 3 that nobody wants? And what do you think?
Hopefully, right. I'm trying to think. Have they done well outside? See, I haven't though. They haven't done multiplayer before, have they?
Well, they did. They did try it with the Wolfenstein with the twins.
Yeah, I'm saying other than co-op, like
no real multiplayer, not. I don't think so.
So I don't know. I don't know what I think about that then.
I mean, listen, the
And
studio
like
that
Doom
made
hasn't had a
Indiana
multiplayer
Jones and
either.
Wolfenstein, all great single player games, does every studio need to make a multiplayer game? Can we
Yeah,
just
I
be
know.
happy with the single player games, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to think about that.
Yeah. Well, we need more information on that, of course,
Yeah.
and see what type of game it is. But if you look in recent years, there's barely a multiplayer game that was truly successful. Even games like Battlefield 6, everyone enjoyed it, but it kind of died off. I know people are still playing it. Servers are pretty okay full, but it's not like this hype game where everyone, well, 2 weeks after launch, nobody talked about it anymore, right? Only game this year, multiplayer game that was really successful with a little longer legs is probably Arc Raiders, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, man, multiplayer games in this day and age are so difficult to get right. I don't know why so many developers still try or think they need to do that, right? Yeah, Princess Green in the chat says Battlefield is no Arc Riders. Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And with all these super successful ongoing service games where people get their multiplayer fix from Fortnite and everything to now Arc Raiders is super massively popular. It's really hard to get your foothold in there. Call of Duty basically died off at launch, right? This was nobody talked or really played it. And I know that's factually not right because the servers are still occupied and everything. There's always someone who plays Call of Duty, but you know what I mean. There's just no excitement or hype up behind that. The Call of Duty in 2025 now. Um, um, yeah. All right, Dutch. Let's talk about the breaking news. Just a few hours before the show, Xbox announced that the Developer Direct airing on January 22nd. So today in 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not really a secret. Everyone knew it was coming. Matt Booty talked about it in December already. So there was really no surprise. We didn't know the exact date. And of course, we didn't know about the games. And that has changed, Dutch. They have announced this year's Developer Direct with only 3 games, right? With a lot of Playground. Fable is gonna be there. Forza Horizon 6 is gonna be there. And Beast of Reincarnation. So in previous years, they've always headlined 4 games. This year, only 3 games. But some really good ones, especially with Fable. So Dutch, there's a lot to talk about. Let's start before we talk about the what they said about the games that have been announced. I've seen already a lot of discussions online. Is there going to be a 4th secret game? Why is it only 3 games this year? What do you think, Dutch? 3 games on this year's Developer Direct? Will they leave it at that, or is there a surprise?
Yeah, it's a surprise. There's always a surprise. There's definitely a surprise. No, I don't know. I don't know why they've only just announced 2 games and then
3
the
games.
other one. It's very strange. But no, there's definitely more than that.
I would assume so
too. I think there's going to be at least one more game on there. At least one more that isn't from Playground Games.
Yeah. exactly. Especially even in the previous years when they only announced 4 games as headline games, right? They always had 1/5 surprise in there. It was one year, it was Visions of Mana, for instance, that they've shown off, right?
Yeah.
Or something like that. And last year they had the surprise then with even the stealth drop of Ninja Gaiden 2, the remake, right? So I also fully expect them to have a surprise. I remember one year, I don't know whether it was last year or in 24, where they also like had 3 announced titles, but then they put in the title screen this big question mark and surprise title where they already announced, okay, we're gonna have an unannounced surprise. That was also the case one time, but yeah, I fully expect that. What do you think it could be? What could be the surprise? Because Game on Jesse in the chat says Fallout 3 remake, and I've seen that a lot in the past couple of days, because well, the Fallout TV series, right? They have this little countdown that will end like shortly after the final episode of the season ends, and everyone is like speculating, okay, what's the timer for? Right? So that's Fallout 3 remake, or maybe New Vegas. New Vegas remake would make more sense given the season 2 is playing in Vegas, right? So what do you think, Dutch?
Yeah, I mean, it could be. It could be even more gameplay of the Halo campaign Evolved, which is dropping this year.
You think they put in Halo as a surprise title there?
Well, it could be a surprise drop.
Ooh. You think Halo could be?
It's literally campaign Evolved, so it's not something that they need to really work up to, because it's just here's a teaser of a Halo before we actually unveil the real Halo, like the newest iteration.
Yeah, but I think I still firmly believe that they use Halo as the anniversary game, right? That this is because Halo itself also obviously celebrates its anniversary, and that they will have, like, that this year, they after the June showcase, they will not have a developer direct, a traditional developer direct with where they highlight a certain game. They will have like an anniversary thing, right? An anniversary direct, or whatever it's going to be called. And I think that they will drop Halo along with whatever they have planned with for the anniversary. I don't think that they will drop Halo in a January developer direct. But I could be wrong, because to your point, it would be an awesome way to kick off the anniversary year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Fallout again. I would love it. It would be a really cool thing to, especially New Vegas, which is my favorite Fallout. Um, but I also take a Fallout 3 remake if it's done like on a similar level, like the Oblivion remake last year, right? That would be absolutely sweet. I just don't think that it's ready yet for some reason. I think they completely screwed that up, and they got surprised by the, well, absolute success and fame that the TV show got. And I I do just have the feeling that that the remake isn't that long in development yet, and I don't think that this is ready just yet to be dropped. But I hope I'm wrong. Um, our community is also speculating here. I've seen who said it? Happy Cloud Gamer, the Starfield update 2.0.
Nah.
Why not?
Nah. They wouldn't put that on a developer direct.
It would
This is
absolutely
about new games that are coming out this week, not updates. They never ever have an update for a game on a developer direct.
Well, sometimes it's always the first time, right?
Nah, they wouldn't.
Yeah, but
They wouldn't
this
do that.
Starfield update, the new expansion, is rumored to be massive. It's also said that a lot of the game's mechanics are going to be changed with that. That's why people call it the Starfield 2.0, right? So similar like Cyberpunk had its 2.0 moment. Maybe not on this exact same level because Cyberpunk fundamentally changed really the game. But there are things floating around that some of the load screens are going to get removed, right, with 2.0. More stuff to do on the random planets. And of course, a big story expansion. And I think if you do a 2.0 kind of thing where you kind of change certain things in how Starfield works, right? For instance, remove the load screens, and so you kind of want to show that off somewhere. And I don't think that this is the kind of thing you show off during the June showcase. You don't do a dedicated developer direct again for Starfield. They had that 2-3 years ago.
No, they definitely would do it in the June showcase because they always do Elder Scrolls Online and things on there as well. So they absolutely would do here's Starfield 2.0, Starfield's update.
If it's just an expansion, yes. If it's a fundamental change to certain mechanics of the game, and if they are actually aiming to do this 2.0 moment kind of thing, I would say they need a little explanation on what they've changed, and for that the developer direct would be a perfect format actually, right? Like 5 to 10 minutes, explain, okay, we changed this, and this. It's going to come out in March, and by the way, it's also then available on PlayStation. I could see that happening, honestly.
You think so?
It could really be. I mean, people have also speculated about Gears. I don't think Gears is going to be there as a surprise title. I kind of doubt it. It could also maybe Starfield 2.0 is out now, right? Because they really have to think about this year with so many heavy hitters this year coming in how to.
Yeah, so would it make sense putting Starfield out this year when they've got essentially the anniversary year? Would it make sense?
Yes.
Gears ED, Halo campaign evolved,
Fable,
potential announcement of the next Halo.
Yes. Exactly. Maybe one or two other games. I mean, a lot of people have talked about Clockwork potentially coming this year, right? Double Fine still having another game in the making. Keeper wasn't their main project, right? That was a side project. That could be. We really don't know about Blade. How far is that along? Right?
Yeah.
State of Decay 3. I could also see that because let's face it, State of Decay 3 is now. When did they buy that studio? Was it 2017 or 18? Let's say even if it was 18, that game is now already then at least 8 years in development under Microsoft, right? This is ridiculously long time. So yeah, maybe something like that. Whatever it is, Microsoft has, or Xbox has, more games than the 4 we know about, right? For this year. We know about Halo, Fable, Forza, and Gears for this year.
Yeah.
And they do have more. Obviously, there's Call of Duty this year. But yeah, they do have more games. And so, when do you release a Starfield this year? Because we're getting into the release schedule of this year, right? The release schedule is going to be ridiculous. We already have so many major AAA games this year. Unlike last year was a good year for gaming, but we didn't have that many like really AAA bangers this year. Last year. And this is very different this year. So you kind of have to be careful where to place Starfield, which is quote unquote just an expansion, right? And you want it also, then it's obviously going to come to PlayStation as well with this new update. You want it to shine there and have room to breathe there. What better time than January, actually, if you think about it, right?
Yeah.
Because February, March, April is already pretty much occupied. And then we have a list of like more than a dozen AAA games this year that don't have a date yet. It's, yeah. If you want Starfield to have a comeback moment, listen, January doesn't sound too bad. Maybe it's just a third-party game, or just maybe it's a third-party game, something completely unrelated to Xbox, but they already have with Beast of Reincarnation.
They've already got. Yeah, I was going to say they've already got that.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting, man. We'll find out. Let's talk about the games that they have announced. Big one, obviously, being Fable, right? They put up a post on Xbox Wire, and they had to say the following about Fable, man. Playground welcomes players back to the fairy tale land of Albion with the first in-depth look at Fable, one of 2026 most anticipated titles. Devs from Playground Games team will unveil the magic and mischief that awaits players in this fresh new beginning for the franchise, including a look at some stunning new gameplay. Of course, the core themes of Fable will all be there: choice, consequent, drama, action, British humor, and of course chickens. All reimagined for existing fans and new players alike. So with that, they've announced Fable for this. And Dutch, what are your expectations on Fable? You excited?
Of course I am. It's my most anticipated game of this year by a long shot. Yeah, I absolutely cannot wait for Fable. It's just a case for me. Obviously, we're eventually going to see how the game plays.
Yeah,
we're going to see more of the combat, which people have been moaning about.
You think people will be moaning?
Yeah, people have been moaning.
I don't know. What if they nail it? Because
the
little sequences we've seen so far, they look pretty awesome.
For me, it's not that they won't do well. For me, it's the fact that people have been moaning that they haven't shown combat. So no, obviously people have moaned that they haven't. I'm glad they will see it. But yeah, it's. I'm just glad we'll eventually get that out of the way. We'll see what the game looks like and how it plays, etc. Yeah, it's by far my most anticipated of the year, and I don't doubt for a moment that they won't do a very good job.
Yeah, I'm also very confident in Playground's capabilities. I mean, they've been cooking this game right for 9 years now. It is
Yeah.
insane if you think about how long 9 years actually have been. Playground Games confirmed in 2017 that they have started to work on an action RPG. It was 2017. At the time, they didn't say it's Fable, but they said we are actively working on an action RPG, right?
Yeah.
And now it comes in 26. It's a long time, but I'm absolutely certain that they will nail it. They didn't leave that game so long in the oven to release something mediocre. It's just not gonna happen.
No,
I
definitely not.
I'm absolutely sure they will nail a lot of or will nail this game, right? And it's been a while since we had like one of these potential games from Xbox Studios that do have this real absolute massive blockbuster vibe to them. I mean, listen, I loved Avowed last year, absolutely. I super enjoyed South of Midnight. That game's completely surprised me. Oblivion remake, Tony Hawk remake, Gears remake, all good stuff there. But and Outer Worlds 2 and so on. But none of these games did have this, absolute blockbuster shine to them. But with Fable, they will have that, right?
Yeah.
Of course, the same goes for Forza and Gears. But with Fable, we get this third-person action RPG, massive open world, beautiful, absolutely stunning visuals. I mean, that's all we've seen so far from the game, right? Is how it looks, and it looks absolutely amazing. The level of detail that they got out of the Forza engine, right? This game is still running on the Forza engine, which is crazy. So but what we haven't seen so far from Playground in general is storytelling, for instance, right? Writing, actually, how good is the writing going to be? We have never played a proper character at all in a Playground game. All they've done so far is Forza. So of course, I'm super excited how they will solve it. Will it be good? I've no doubt about it. I'm super confident that they will nail it. But I'm so much interested, more so than with other studios where we have, GTA, we also haven't seen really much of it. But we know how GTA plays. We know that what Rockstar nails and what they don't nail, right? But this is a complete turnaround in genre what the studio is doing with Fable, and so I'm really excited to see how is it. And then being a massive fan of the old Fable games, I even enjoyed 3. I know people hated 3, but I even thought Fable 3 was a great game. I thoroughly enjoyed that. And Fable always was like, all right, your choices really changed the course of Albion, right? They do have impact. It's always these difficult choices. It's always this weird British humor that just stands out there. And are they going to be able to nail that? I've no doubt about it, but I want to see it. And so, yeah, what is the combat going to be like, right? Is it really? We've seen these little snippets, yeah, where she throws the fireball, where she shoots this arrow, where she does this sword attack. But from these 2-second clips, you really do not get a feeling in how does it feel, the combat, right? Um, is there going to be a character creator? That has also been something, because people really didn't like the looks of her, right? Of the main character. Is that going to be the main character, or will there be options, right? Either a character creator, or I personally don't think they will have a character creator, but I do think they will have like at least 2 or 3 options at the beginning of the game where you can choose, will you play as a female, as a male, or so that you have at least 1 or 2 options to choose from.
Yeah.
There's just so much I want to learn about this game, and that's why I love that they did not announce it just with a trailer and shown it off with another trailer, but that they put it in the developer direct, because Fable needs explanation, right? What are the mini games?
Oh,
There have always been so many mini games in that game. Are they going to bring those back? What's the story going to be, right? What about the protagonist? Is it a fixed character? Again, do we have some sort of character creation? What's the combat going to look like? How do quests work? All that stuff needs explanation with a Fable. And that's why I think it's a perfect game for this format. And one last thing before I hand the mic to you. I cannot wait to kick chickens again.
Yeah. No. Again, I think at this stage, obviously, we want to see more of the game. We want to see how it plays. We want to see the combat. But ultimately, I think at this stage, we've seen a lot of it as well. And it's getting to the point now where we do need the official release date, and we do want to get playing the game now. So it's good to see it is at the Xbox Direct. Yeah. So that means it is coming, and it is coming soon, the first half of the year.
Yeah. Do you think so?
Yeah, absolutely. Because you've got Gears in Halo and all that malark as well. So I think so.
Honestly, I think so too. I think this is an April, maybe a May game. If the Witcher 3 DLC turns out to be true in May, I hope they are not choosing Fable for May as well, right?
Yeah.
I can't take the month off of work. Impossible. So they have to stretch it out. But I also feel like Fable is first half.
Yeah.
Simply for the exact reason you just mentioned, right? They have Call of Duty in the second half, definitely. I mean, that's for sure, right? And since Gears is not at this showcase or the developer direct, Gears is also absolutely going to be a holiday season game. It's gonna be October or November game with Gears, right? They also again, then they have the Call of Duty in there. They need to position somewhere Halo. I still believe Halo is gonna be. They will have in June, along with the showcase or the day after or something, an anniversary special, and with that they will release Halo. But that still means whatever other game they had, we just talked about it, right? Potentially a Clockwork or something from Double Fine or whatever. It's not just these 4 games. They have other games as well that they will then have to position somewhere in the second half. And so I feel like Fable, Forza Horizon, I don't think Forza is gonna be first half, though.
No, I don't think so. No, Forza, I think September. Forza will be the only one that sticks to its standard release schedule. But here's a bonus for Forza for a change. It is going to be the first that's released on a single gen.
Yeah. True.
Forza Horizon will officially only be Series XS.
Forza Horizon 1 was only a single gen.
Yeah, that was because that was the first of its kind.
Yeah, the first one. But you're right. At least in a long
Forza
time.
Horizon, yeah. The next, every other Forza Horizon is released cross-gen.
They said about Forza this. The Forza team from Playground will share a deep dive on the much anticipated Forza Horizon 6 as the open world racer takes players to the beautiful and contrasting landscapes of Japan. The segment will deep dive into a very first look at gameplay, including reveals of new features and how Japan comes to life in this stunning new installment. What are the new features in Forza Horizon 6? What do you expect?
Ooh. Don't know. It could be that they're just bringing in bikes.
I hope
it
so.
Could be bringing in aircraft. It could be bringing in boats.
Something else
skis.
than cars, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, motorbikes would absolutely make sense. I don't know if they would go boats or something, but I do hope that we get to drive something besides cars.
Yeah, same. It would be a nice change. Yeah. A nice change. We said this the last time as well. Well, we said this afterwards when they do announce the next one. It needs to change the series a bit because as much as we love Forza Horizon, it's very much the same in a different place.
Yeah.
However, one thing I think you will get on this, and I think it's pretty much confirmed, or at least semi-confirmed, because it's set in Japan, because Japan is heavily modification of cars orientated. I do believe it's going to go down more the route again, as well as what we used to get in like Need for Speed Underground. So you'll have like your neon lights under the car, and you'll have like slammed body kits and like lowrider kits and everything to make cars like drift spec and just make things wild, because that's what the Japanese auto scene's all about. It's about expressing themselves and showing what the car is about and expressing themselves through the car. It's not about just having a fast car or driving a car. It's about the style of it, what it looks like, all the different fancy lighting and things that they put on it. Yeah, it's so I expect a lot more emphasis features wise on the customization of the car as well, from a cosmetic standpoint, not from a performance standpoint.
Yeah. That would absolutely make sense, and I also believe that we will get something like that. I also wonder how the gameplay will actually look like, because if you remember, Forza Horizon 5 was, or still is, one of the most gorgeous games out there, period. And now they've moved over to the new Forza engine that Forza Motorsport 7 premiered, right? Like you said, just this gen. And I mean, Japan is a fantastic setting, especially for a Horizon game, right? With lots of possible diversity in the environments and everything, from cherry blossom trees to snow-covered mountains to rainforest like terrain. There's possibly a lot of variation in the environments. And so I cannot wait to see how this actually looks, and hopefully that they will have some of the bike riding or some other vehicle that we can move around, right? Very much looking forward to that. So, but we are together here that Forza Horizon 6 probably going to be second half September-ish.
Yeah, August, September.
Yeah. I agree. And that's why I do believe that Fable is coming sooner than we think.
Yeah.
The only thing 100%. The only thing that speaks against this is that Klobrille, the super active user on Twitter, He posted earlier a screenshot from the hiring page from Playground.
They've got loads of hiring positions.
Yeah, they're still hiring for Fable, right? Lead animation, lead gameplay designer.
They do exactly the same thing, though. They were doing exactly the same thing for Forza Horizon 5 all the way through. Even after it released, they were hiring for loads of open positions for Forza Horizon 5.
Yeah.
So it's to take that with a grain of salt. That's just standard. That's just, I would imagine, continuously. I would definitely expect, much like the way Forza Horizon is, there to be story expansions for Fable from Playground.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
100%.
100%.
And that's why they need these level designers and things like that, and script writers and things like that going forward, because there will be updates, there will be expansions, 100%.
Yeah, I agree, and that's why I am with you. First half for Fable.
And they're definitely going to be selling weapons packs and cosmetics packs and outfits and things like that as well, for people who want to spend extra money, because of course we know with Forza you can get the ultra premium edition, which gets you the car pack, but they do also have car packs that are outside of the ultra premium collection that you don't get within it. So they definitely will have extras and things you can get. But yeah, I would absolutely imagine there to be story expansions coming from Playground. So yeah, I would just take the hiring posts as a grain of salt.
Yeah. I agree there. We'll know more in 2 weeks, Dutch. By the way, the Developer Direct is airing perfectly for us. It airs at 7 p.m. Central Europe. That's 1 hour before we start our podcast, so we can, on 22nd, we can watch the Developer Direct and directly talk about it. It's gonna be awesome, man. And we'll find out. Beast of Reincarnation is going to be there. They've shown that game off at the June showcase, right? It is this little bit Souls like looking single player action RPG from Game Freak, the makers of Pokemon, right? It's set in this
flexing the outside of Nintendo muscles.
Yeah, absolutely, flexing their muscles outside there. It's this post-apocalyptic Japan setting for that game. I was a little surprised for that game to be in there, but obviously they always kind of had at least one third-party game in there in the Developer Direct, and with that, I think they want to like emphasize once more that they are fully committed to Japanese games, right, and the Japanese games industry. A lot of people speculated in advance that Square's gonna be there. I told you on this podcast 2 or 3 weeks ago, I would highly doubt that Square is going to
there's no reason for them.
Yeah, there's absolutely Final Fantasy VII is just too old for that, right? It's out
100%.
on PlayStation.
It's already out by that
for
point.
Many years. Yeah,
it comes out on the 22nd anyway.
Yeah,
isn't the showcase on the 20th or something?
22nd as well, same day.
Oh, so yeah, definitely won't be there.
yeah. I doubt it. So yeah, Beast of Reincarnation. You're interested in that, man?
It's definitely it's definitely interesting. I'm interested from a standpoint of I want to see what Game Freak can do away from Nintendo. And it went down a completely different route.
A completely different route.
Yeah, completely different route. Like it's absolutely nothing like a Monster Hunter game, as it were. It is an RPG, but it's not. turn-based RPG. It's an action RPG. It's essentially a hack and slash.
Themed. It is brutal. It is. Yeah. My only thing is I'm a little saturated with Souls-like games. Right?
Yeah.
But
I hope it's not like that. I mean, it's an
not
RPG, so
yeah. Maybe we are not doing the game justice because we really don't know if it's going to be Souls-like, right? Just from the looks of it, because most games that do share this kind of look and this kind of setting in the last couple of years have always been like Souls-like games, right? So maybe we are not. Maybe that's not it. So for Beast of Reincarnation, for me, it's actually I'm looking forward to see it, to understand better what it actually is, and then judge on it. So yeah, that's the developer direct for this year. I think we do agree that there will be a fourth game in there that will be a surprise. Maybe it is Starfield, right? Maybe it is something entirely else. Just don't want to get the hopes up for people. It's not going to be E Day. I highly doubt that it's going to be E Day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I very much doubt it's going to be ED either, in all fairness. I think if we're going to see an extra game, it'll be Halo Campaign Evolved.
All right. We'll find out, man. We'll find out.
That's only because Halo Campaign Evolved, they've kind of showed off a little bit of what it looks like now. And I think just showing off the gameplay and potentially a drop, as it were, like a shadow drop. I think that's very, very, I think in the likely scenario or likely realms, maybe even not a shadow drop per se, but very soon kind of drop, i.e. within a month.
I'm not saying it's impossible or anything. On the contrary, it could very well be that they use Halo Combat Campaign Evolved to kick off this anniversary year, right?
Yeah.
But I still feel like Starfield would make just more sense. And one thing I think I forgot to mention earlier is there has been an event that certain journalists already got invited to, and where they've shown whatever this Starfield 2.0 is. And usually you don't do an event and then don't show anything of the game for another 6 months. So I could really see Starfield being the surprise thing in there to explain a little. We've changed this and that mechanic, no more loading screens or whatever, right? And this is our new big expansion. By the way, it's coming to PlayStation. Then also all the coverage from these journalists that got invited to the Starfield event can post their articles. So yeah, it's just in my mind, it would absolutely make sense for Starfield to be the surprise game there. All right, Dutch. We've already touched a little bit on when we were speculating about, okay, when does Fable or Forza come out, right? On the release schedule this year. So, I want to segue over to this because the year kicked off, right? 26 is gonna be massive for gaming. A lot of games have already been announced. So I want to discuss with you a little bit the biggest games that come out this year and give a little preview on 2026, right? Let's have a look here first on the games where we actually do have a dedicated release date. Of course, there's thousands of games coming out this year, but I want to focus on the biggest ones. Final Fantasy is now finally coming to Xbox. We already mentioned that, right? January 22nd. You're going. I think you mentioned that before. You're going to buy it again, right, on Xbox?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Always. Yeah.
All right. I'm still torn. I do want to play it again, but I could just play it on PlayStation because I already own it there. So I'm a little torn here. Do we have a price yet? Do we know what it is? It full priced?
What's this? Final Fantasy?
Final Fantasy remake.
No, it's not full price. No, it's like 30. Well, the pre-order version was like 30 odd bucks, £39 or something like that.
Okay.
And that came with the original Final Fantasy VII.
All right. Ah, I have to think about it. I have many other games as well to play.
I think it was integrated as well. It wasn't just the standard one. It was the one with the
integrate.
Yeah.
That's for sure. It's also coming to Switch, by the way, same day.
Yeah, I'll tell you what it is. So, yes, you can still get the limited early purchase edition, which is $39.99.
Okay. So not full priced.
Nope.
I mean, the remake is awesome, so I might just jump back into that. Let's see what else do we have this year. Dragon Quest VII Reimagined comes out on February 5th on all platforms, right?
Yep.
And then High on Life 2 comes out on February 13th. The first one was also a Gamepass Day 1 launch, right? And it was actually a fun game. This quirky shooter where the guns talk back to you. I'm looking forward to that. Do we know if this is going to come to Game Pass as well, High on Life 2? I could have checked that before the show, but I forgot. So, yes, it's going to come to Game Pass as well. So, no reason to not play that, right? And then the first major AAA game comes out, Resident Evil Requiem, on February 27th.
Yeah.
And the more I see of this game, the more awesome it looks. Honestly, at CES they've shown the path tracing with NVIDIA on the NVIDIA stage, right? And they've shown new areas, new gameplay segments. It's just looking so good, and not just from a visual point of view, right?
Yeah.
The atmosphere looks absolutely dense. The characters look awesome. The action sequences look awesome. I have very high hopes, honestly, for Resident Evil Requiem.
For me, it's a play afterwards kind of thing. I'm not going to be getting this day one. I've not been massively into Resident Evils for a while now. So, and I do own all of them up to Village, I do believe. Is that the one with the very tall lady?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
What's the last one?
Yeah, that was I own up to that one. So well, the last one. So, but even then, I haven't played that all the way through. I played a little bit of it, and it was all right.
All right. No, I really enjoyed Village. I actually enjoyed Village more than I did enjoy 7. And even though I still believe the third person Resident Evils were better, I mean, I appreciate that they've tried to do something new with the series. With 7, they've introduced, the first person view. They carry that over to Resident Evil Village as well. And now they are going back to third person again, which I appreciate because it reminds me so much of what made Resident Evil 4 so awesome. And 4 is still my favorite. I loved the remake that they put out, I want to say 2 years ago. Was it last year or two? No, it was 2 years ago, 24. That was also absolutely fantastic. So, and Requiem feels very much like they are going back to what made 4 so awesome, and that's why I'm really excited for Requiem here. Well, that's in March. We are on March 12th. We are getting one game that is especially very much anticipated by Xbox fans, and that is Replaced. It's finally coming out.
Eventually, we have a release date.
We have a release date. It's March 12th, right? Coming to Xbox and PC. I hope it's going to be play anywhere. But yeah, Replaced looks absolutely stunning. I know not a massive AAA release, but nevertheless, I've seen nothing but good things about this game. And I have also not seen anyone who has seen the game not being excited about it. And
yeah,
Replaced, I think this is really one of these, hidden gems that with this 2.5D cinematic look, with the neon lighting and everything, it's going to be an absolute fantastic experience, I think. And I'm very much looking forward to that. And then Dutch, one of my absolute highlight games, top 3 most anticipated games this year, is Crimson Desert, coming on March 19th. Started as an MMO, right? But then they decided, well, we don't want this to be an MMO. We want this to be a single-player action RPG. And it is high fantasy setting. I love high fantasy settings for RPGs. Best setting for an RPG there is. It looks absolutely stunning, not just from a visual point of view. You have so many awesome ways to traverse the open world. The combat looks absolutely fantastic. Some of the boss fights they've shown are absolutely awesome, or do look absolutely awesome. And it's not Souls-like. Hallelujah to that. And I think if they nail the storytelling, which is probably the only thing I'm not 100% convinced just yet. But everything I've seen does look so good in Crimson Desert. They have a super in-depth RPG system. They've shown it off multiple times now, so we have a pretty good idea on what it's going to be like. It does look absolutely awesome, with a lot of customization possibilities for your character and tons of different skills and focus you can put for your character on. Crimson Desert looks absolutely awesome. But I don't know where you stand on it, man.
Yeah, it's very intriguing. It's very intriguing. I mean, it's even more intriguing to me now that it's single player than what it was when it was an MMO.
Yeah.
When it is an MMO, I had absolutely zero interest in it. So I am so glad that they've changed it to a single player RPG.
Yeah. I'm with you there. Really not interested in an MMO, but as a single player RPG, massive open world, cannot wait, man.
Yeah.
Cannot wait.
Let's just hope it lives up to expectations, huh?
Yeah. Agree. Then also March, no specific date yet. They just said March is Marathon. Finally.
Don't hold your breath on that one.
No, man. It's gonna be dead on arrival.
Yeah.
It's not that I want the game to fail or want it to be bad. On the contrary. But what we've seen so far, feels so lackluster, right? So generic. I cannot see that Marathon is going to be a success. First game released from Bungie under PlayStation, right?
Yeah.
Was it like when was it? 4 years ago when they bought Bungie, or is it 5 years already? And so far, Bungie, I don't think was what PlayStation hoped it would be, because Destiny had rough years behind them.
Destiny, they've been, never mind rough years, they've had the worst record since I think they've began for Destiny. I don't think any of the expansions lived up to expectations.
Yeah.
Any of them.
Yeah, agreed.
And it went in the last one, whatever the light one was, just went out with a whimper.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I mentioned it earlier. It is super, super hard to get an ongoing games as a service title successful in this day and age, because people already have their games as a service title. Nobody is playing more than 1 or 2 of those titles at the same time, and you will not be able to get people away from Fortnite and Warzone and, as of late, Arc Raiders, right? Look at what Arc Raiders did, and how they support the game, and that was one of the standouts that actually made it successful, and it still has to prove that it has long legs. Yeah, it's still pretty new. It's what now, 3 months or so, yeah, since it came out. So far they are doing pretty well, but we will see where's is Arc Raiders in a year or so after launch. And honestly, what was that other game that they killed like 10 days after it came out? Blanking on the name right now. Concord, thank you. It'll be a very similar situation. Maybe they are not going to kill it directly after 10 days, but there's no way I can see Marathon to be successful. So,
yep.
Then we have on April 24th, Pragmata coming out on all platforms, right?
Yeah.
And that actually does look good.
Yeah, Pragmata looks really good. That one kind of disappeared for a while, and then all of a sudden released it. Thank God for that.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose on the flip side, one of the positive things about Pragmata is the fact that they didn't oversell it.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of games just keep showing you bits like every other month, and you're like, okay, I've seen far too much now, and I'm like, now I'm not that hyped. But the fact that they kind of ignored it, they didn't really talk about it. They announced it, and after they announced it, nothing really happened.
Yeah. True. And so, yeah, Pragmata, man, I hope it is as good as it looks, right? It does show off really well what we've seen so far, visually as well as from the gameplay perspective. But yeah, that's definitely one I'm super interested in. Then we have on April 30th, Saros coming out only on PlayStation 5. One of the very few PlayStation games this year. I am absolutely not interested. I know it's an unpopular opinion, but what was man? What is it today with me and names? The successor, Returnal. I didn't enjoy Returnal. I do like roguelike games if they are good, like Hades or something, yeah, or Ball
Yeah.
Exbit, or I do like the roguelike genre. It's not that, but I don't think that Returnal was well done. It was too frustrating because you lost too much of your
Yeah.
progress once you
I
died.
got bored of it straight away when I was playing it. I got bored immediately.
Yeah.
I thought the level design was average at best.
Yes.
It was just like it was so bland.
Yes, it was planned. It is, and so naturally, I don't have an interest in Saros. And let's face it, Returnal also was not super successful. It sold okay-ish. Like at some point, I think 6 months or so after launch, we heard it reached about 1 million sales, which is for the way how Sony fans made it out to be the best game, one of the best games ever made, and blah 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 blah, and all the bullshit. It didn't sell well for such an apparent good game, right? And so I feel with Saros only coming to PlayStation, it'll be a similar thing. Yeah, there will be diehard fans that claim it's a super awesome game, but yeah, I mean, taste is different. Yeah, for those who do enjoy it, let's keep it at that. I hope they do enjoy it. So then, Dutch, I'm on May 27th. 007 First Light is coming, right? And I'm really excited. It looks like this mixture in between Hitman and Uncharted, right? And I cannot wait. I don't know what it is, but I'm really in the mood for 007 game, a good one, and I feel they've cooked. Everything we've seen from Lenny Kravitz being the bad guy, right, to playing Bond, or the origin story of a Bond, to the action sequences, to the stealth sequences we've seen so far. I'm absolutely in the mood to play this. I would love for it to come out earlier, but we will have to wait till the end of May. But I cannot wait for First Light.
Yeah, again, it'll be one for me to wait and see what you think of it. I think before I jump into it.
I think that's a sentiment I've seen with a lot of people. Yeah, it does look good, but it's a wait and see for me. How will the reviews turn out? How will people I trust or do have a similar taste like me? How will they enjoy it? I don't think.
I think as much as I think people might have enjoyed the Hitman series, for me, I don't know. Like, I don't have as much trust for IOI as I do for Playground Games, for instance, when it comes to them changing. Okay, we're going to go from this stealth assassin, goofy stealth assassin game. Let's put it that way, because it is a goofy stealth assassin game where you can dress up as random people and take people out, and the only point of the game is to take people out and assassinate them, to an actual cinematic action adventure James Bond game.
Yeah.
I don't have as much. I wouldn't say confidence. I just don't have as much trust in IOI to be able to flip that into something great as I do Playground going from Forza to Halo.
I know what you mean. It's
more
not a
trust in the
studio we trust completely blind.
Yeah.
I did enjoy Hitman, the Hitman series, but it's not like the best games I've ever played or anything like that. They were good games, no doubt about it. But I also feel it's not IO Interactive. They've not earned the trust to trust them blindly. Yeah. So
yeah,
I think that's also why they've marketed the hell out of 007, because it's been on every showcase, whether it's a PlayStation and Xbox showcase. They Keeley show everywhere. They've shown it off everywhere, to let people know, okay, this isn't Bond with a this isn't Hitman with a Bond skin, right? But yeah, I'm actually really in the mood for that. Maybe it's also the like Tomb Raider, Uncharted kind of itch that I have, and I just want to play it, man. 2 days later, May 29th, Lego Batman comes out.
Yep. Yep. Another Lego game. I've never, to be fair, I think I've played one of the Lego games like once or twice.
Okay.
So it's not something I'll be jumping on. They'll do a good job with it because they always do a good job with them. But not ones that I'll be playing.
Since I'm a massive Batman fan, and I really like what they did with that game, that they really put in from the Keaton movies, to the latest one, everything alongside Batman in that game, it does really look good. It's also something probably my kids would enjoy, so it would absolutely justify the purchase. So maybe it really depends on how much time do we have around that time, because obviously it's a busy month, right? It's a very busy month, and with the rumor of the Witcher 3 DLC coming in May, right? Fable somewhere, still my estimate April or May, right? In that ballpark, and then 007 and everything else, Pragmata at the end of April. And will I find the time to play the Lego Batman game? Because usually the Lego games are also fairly big. Yeah. If you, especially if you think back to the Skywalker saga or so, it's not like a 5-hour experience. It's really, you have to invest time in it. And will I have the time? Not with the Witcher 3 DLC coming in parallel. Definitely. That's the thing for me with this game. All right, Dutch. And then we only have for 2 other games this year an actual date. Phantom Blade Zero on PlayStation and PC on September 12th. And, of course, GTA 6 on November 19th.
Yeah.
Especially with GTA, everyone is already talking again about possible other delays. I think it was Jason Schreier who came out, right, and reporting, okay, it's not going to launch complete as a complete game, and the bug fixing phase hasn't even begun yet, so it might very well be delayed again. I mean, it's a possibility. Rockstar really does not want this game to come out and carry a story of being a broken game or a buggy game, or they want this to be at its best when it comes out, because for them their entire stock value depends on it, right?
Yeah.
So GTA,
and the next 10 to 15 years depends on it.
True that.
Because let's face it, that's exactly what's going to happen. Well, they'll launch that, then they'll launch the new GTA Online like the year after, and then it's going to be just milk to death for the next 10 to 15 years.
Yeah, true. So, yeah, I think GTA could very well be delayed again, obviously. On the other hand, I really want to play it. So, let's hope that they will stick to the November date, right? All right, Dutch. Those were the games, the biggest games that do have a date. Then we have tons of games that are confirmed for this year, but do not have a proper date yet. Bloodstained, the spiritual Castlevania successor, right? is going to come out. I know a lot of people are excited for it. It depends on the time I have. Really, I'd be in the mood for a Castlevania-like game, but it's also not like I'm super massively excited. So it really depends on when they are going to release that.
Yeah, in terms of Castlevania, again, I agree. I'm exactly the same. It's a strange one though, because Castlevania has been gone such a long time.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see. Is this is a kind of a modern Castlevania as well, isn't it?
It's from the Castlevania makers. It's not called Castlevania, it's called Bloodstained. But it's the spiritual successor of Castlevania, right? Comes out on all platforms as well. So Dune Awakening is also coming this year.
Dune Awakening. Yes, it is. Is that the MMO? Is that the MMO?
Yeah, that's the MMO.
Oh. No.
I mean, it's been a while since we had many like multiplayer games as a service titles, but proper MMOs. When was the last proper MMO that came out? It's been a while.
And I'd like it to keep it that way.
Yeah.
There's loads of them that are still ongoing that loads of people still play, so let them just stay with those.
Sure. I mean,
let's not have any more.
Yeah. I don't have the time for it.
No.
I used to be a big MMO guy. I played The Elder Scrolls Online when it came out. Played the shitload out of it. There've been many MMOs back in the days that I played, but once I became a father, I just don't have the time for it anymore, honestly. MMOs are so time consuming. You can easily sink in thousands of hours into that. And in the same thousands of hours, I can play dozens of other games. And I just don't have that much gaming time anymore than I used to before I had a family, right? So I think MMOs are the one thing I gave up after founding a family. And so, yeah, Dune Awakening, not for me, man. What else? Fable and Forza, we already talked about those. Then Gears E-Day, of course, comes out this year.
Yeah.
We mentioned it earlier. I'm excited for Gears E-Day. I love that they are going back to this darker look, the more grittier look, you know. I did enjoy Gears 5 and 4. But especially 5, if you think back, it had this very colorful look. Yeah, lots of popping colors, and it didn't have the same atmosphere anymore than what made the original trilogy so good, right?
It needs to get ready again.
And they're doing that again. I love that they are bringing back Marcus and Dom, and that they are going to Emergence Day, right? And I cannot wait. I cannot wait for the single player campaign. I cannot wait for the multiplayer. It's gonna be just a blast. But I think we will see that at the June showcase, and it will be one of the holiday titles. It's gonna be an October release or something.
Yeah.
If GTA gets delayed, maybe even in November. Release. So then Gothic 1, the remake, finally comes out this year. And I know
it does.
I know not many people talk about it, but they've released a demo like November or so. They've released a demo for it, and it's awesome, man. It's gonna be awesome. Gothic 1, one of the, for me personally, most influential RPGs at the time, right? and it's getting a proper remake treatment, and it looks great. They've modernized a lot of things. The only thing that I feel like is still missing is a map.
Yeah.
They've not put a map in it. I know the original one they also didn't have one. But other than that, everything's awesome about the game. From the 1.5, 2 hours I've played in of the demo, and I cannot wait for Gothic 1 remake, man. Yeah. Greedfall 2 is also coming this year. And you know what, Dutch? It's already in early access on PC.
Yeah.
I loved the first Greedfall. I thought that the first Greedfall was brilliant, and I hate that they are going now for a very different combat system. The first one was just an action RPG, you know, like real-time combat. This isn't even turn-based, it's more like strategic stop and go kind of weird ass combat system that does not look fun. Everyone hates it that plays it in early access, and I feel like they could actually really ruin the game with that. So Greedfall 2 is for me a very, very much wait and see. Even though I really, really enjoyed the first one.
Yeah, I wasn't really. I don't think I ever actually played Greedfall 1.
Oh, you would love Greedfall 1, man. It's right up your alley. It's not an open world action RPG. It is more a linear kind of thing, similar like the original Mass Effect and so on, right? Where you have like certain openish areas, but really
open areas.
But it's more streamlined, and once you leave an area, you usually don't come back and continue. And it's a great setting. It is this Gothic-like semi-futuristic medieval setting. It's a really cool setting, right? Great story, really good story. Fun combat, good RPG systems. It would be absolutely up your alley, man. Onimusha is coming as well this year.
Yep.
I know a lot of people are a new one, yeah. I know a lot of people are hyped for it. Not me.
No, same.
Well, Halo, we already talked about that. So Planet of Lana is coming. Planet of Lana 2.
That I'm excited for.
Yeah, definitely, probably my most anticipated indie game this year. The first one was really good, man. Beautiful, very beautiful game. Prince of Persia: Sands of Time is also coming. The remake, finally.
Yeah, we'll see. That did get a lot of backlash when it was first announced.
Oh yeah. But apparently they've completely revamped that remake, and
it needed to be. It needed to be.
If it's now good, I mean, the original game was awesome.
It wasn't so much. It wasn't that it wasn't going to be good. It was, from a visual standpoint, it looked terrible.
Horrible. It also didn't look like it plays fun, right?
No.
The first showing, but that was, I want to say 3, maybe even 4 years ago. And apparently they've completely revamped it, and it is ready to launch this year. So let's hope that it's actually really good, because I'd be up for it. If they've done it well, I'm going to get it, man. Then
if they've done it well.
Yeah. One game nobody talks about, but I think I'm really truly excited for, is Resonance: A Plague Tale story. Resonance is this spin-off from A Plague Tale.
Yeah.
right? They've shown it once so far. Looked visually absolutely stunning, and it's a spin-off from a Plague Tale. And since I love the two Plague Tale games, I'm really excited for this one. Nobody talks about it.
I think it's because they haven't really. I mean, and it's a kind of good thing in the modern day aspect of it, but they haven't really spoken about it too much.
No, they haven't. They have only shown it off once so far.
Which for me is good because it keeps the interest there.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, maybe that's the surprise game. Developer Direct.
Nah, I think they always ever just keep it a one third-party game, don't they?
Yeah. Whatever the fourth surprise game is, and we all know there is one, right? I don't think it's a third-party game. But yeah, man, Resonance, they've reconfirmed it just a few days ago. It's set for 26, no specific date, but yeah, man, this one I cannot wait for. Then one game is Super Meat Boy 3D coming. That's also for me a game like, yeah, it does look fun and it's probably a lot of fun and all cool.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Super Meat Boy 3D. Definitely. That was one when it announced it, I was like, oh yes.
Yeah. But it's one of those games again. It obviously 26 is already so packed. It really depends on the time when it comes out. Because we all will have to make sacrifices this year. There's just too much coming. We will not be able to play them all, right? So, and that really means Super Meat Boy depends on where it lands or when it lands. Yeah. Blood of the Dawnwalker is coming as well this year. You know, the game, the vampire game from some of the makers from The Witcher. There were a couple of people that left CD Projekt Red to found their own studio, and their first game is Blood of the Dawnwalker, also third-person RPG, action RPG, with a vampire setting. Before I give my thoughts, Dutch, what do you think about this game? I'm not sure where you stand on it.
I mean, the guys who made it have obviously got a bit of pedigree making The Witcher and being at CD Projekt Red, so it should be, theoretically, it should be a really interesting game. But we'll wait and see, because there's been many a time where companies have had people that have come from prestigious studios and they've never lived up to the same standards. I mean, you saw that with the ex-Rockstar developers trying to create that Mind's Eye game, and that was absolutely horrific.
Yeah, true. Very true.
Like, beyond horrific. Abysmal.
Yeah. That is true. Listen, they've shown quite a fair bit of the game. And what they've shown, I'm so torn. Because I love what they've shown. From how it looks, from the idea behind the story, and how they've introduced the world with the continued time thing. Everything awesome. My problem is the combat.
Yeah.
And it is very similar to what how I feel about Kingdom Come Deliverance. Because they also have this. They have basically a similar combat system than Kingdom Come Deliverance, just in third person, not in first person, right? And as much as I loved everything about Kingdom Come, from world building, storytelling, RPG system, quest design, everything, I absolutely hated the combat. And this is why I'm so torn about Blood of the Dawnwalker. I don't like this action-based combat where you have to look, okay, the enemy is attacking from above, then I have to press this stick also to above to block here and then be able to slash from underneath. And I just want to, play as a badass and level my character and have a fun combat system, not a strategic one where I have to pay so much attention to how the opponent moves and does he attack from above, from the side, and where can I attack? And I don't like that. I really do not like that. And Blood of the Dawnwalker has exactly that kind of combat system. Everything else they've shown from the game looks actually really good. But I fear that this is a deal breaker for me, similar like it was with Kingdom Come Deliverance. So it's for me still a wait and see with Blood of the Dawnwalker, man.
Yeah, same.
Well, one game that really isn't a wait and see, but a guaranteed day one purchase for me is Tomb Raider, Legacy of Atlantis.
Yes.
I'm so glad that they bring back Tomb Raider in that way, right? A really good looking, well made remake of the first one, because that is a game that you can do a remake. This game is 25 years old, right? That's old enough that it actually deserves a remake. They've done it. From what we've seen, it looks fantastic, right? Lara is back. Great character model. I cannot wait to play this game. And next year they are bringing the new one, right? So I know that's the reason why you've installed Shadow of the Tomb Raider again, right? I'm also thinking about playing it again. I cannot wait for Tomb Raider.
Yeah. You are right. There's a exact reason why I've installed it again. Because they announced that. Obviously, they announced the remake of the first one, and then they're obviously making a brand new one. So yeah, and I thought the previous trilogy that released were absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
So we installed it again to give it another play. Yeah. And surprisingly or not, I installed it via, obviously because I own it, via the Play Anywhere thing on PC, but my save had corrupted, so it kind of forced me to start a new game anyway. So,
well, after such a long time, in a game like Tomb Raider, it is anyway necessary to start a new game if you play it again, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Prince Green in the chat says, the old games are so damn hard, man. I only beat a few of them, hoping the new versions are more streamlined and more modern. Yeah, that's most games 25 years ago were brutally hard.
Yeah.
But I feel like from what we've seen, I've no doubt that they've modernized it in the right way. So I'm not worried about that, man. It's pure excitement. I cannot wait. I do hope it will have a photo mode. Rise of Hydra is also apparently coming this year. I personally have my doubts about it because we really haven't seen anything outside of the render trailer. But they apparently are very certain it's still a 26 release. It's the Black Panther and Captain America game, Marvel 1943 game.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you're not the biggest Marvel fan, so understandable that your hype level is mediocre.
0.
I think the idea is cool. I would love to play a Black Panther and Captain America game with AAA quality and everything. I just have my doubts that it is actually going to be a 26 game.
Yeah, I also agree. And I'm also not that arsed about it.
I know.
However, you bring me someone who's going to make me a new Guardians of the Galaxy game, and I'll snap their hands off.
Yeah, I know. But
bring me a sequel.
That was the best superhero game since the Arkham series.
Yeah, bring me a sequel of that.
But nobody played it. Nobody talked about it. But everyone, or the few people that did play it, everyone absolutely loved it. Guardians of the Galaxy was so good.
It was the most, should we? I wouldn't say lore accurate, but it was definitely, in fact, probably is lore accurate. But it is definitely one of the most feels like these characters games that any of the superhero games have done.
Yeah, agreed.
It felt like that universe. It felt like just another Guardians movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Same humor, same awesome music.
Yeah.
Great gameplay, fantastic combat.
Yeah. Agreed. Absolutely agreed. So Rise of Hydra, I hope it's a 26 game. I'd love to play it and see more of it, of course. The only thing that makes me believe maybe it still is a 26 game is the fact that Marvel is trying to come back big time this year with Avengers Doomsday at the end of this year. And if you are developing a video game in the Marvel universe, right? What better time? I know it's not same storyline, and with Doomsday, Avengers Doomsday, they're going somewhere else than the Rise of Hydra game, but still, the Marvel heroes are back. Captain America is back. Steve Rogers is back in Doomsday and everything, and people. If you have a Marvel game in the making, you kind of want to use that hype around Marvel and Avengers again towards the end of the year. So maybe they will release it somewhere in that ballpark, right? We're sticking with Marvel games. Another one is coming out on PlayStation, Wolverine, this year. I know you're not a big superhero fan, but you gotta admit,
Wolverine should be okay, but for some reason I've got a sneaky feeling they're just going to use almost the identical assets that they have for Spider-Man and then just put Wolverine in it.
A lot of people say that, and I mean,
and by that I mean like just the same map again.
No, it's not. Wolverine isn't playing in New York. So, I mean, I have no doubt that you will, when you play Wolverine, some things will feel familiar. Most certainly. Because they have found a great formula with Spider-Man games. They have. It's very much like Ubisoft. Yeah, they have the Ubisoft formula is great. That's why they use it in every game, and people just become saturated with that formula. But the formula itself is still good, right? And I feel like it's very similar with that. With the Spider-Man games, with Miles Morales and Spider-Man 2, they have found a great formula. And I just hope that they find enough ways to differentiate Wolverine from Spider-Man. We haven't seen enough of the game just yet. But the things we have seen are promising. I feel like it's gonna be brutal. It's gonna be a mixture somehow between Spider-Man and God of War. A lot of the heavy combat scenes kind of reminded me um of God of War. You know, when you like hit someone with the axe and it's just brutal and you pull it out, and it very much felt to a certain point like that, in combination with some of the things that definitely reminded the traversal, for instance, reminded a lot of on Spider-Man. But I am very much for a gory and M-rated superhero game from Insomniac, because I did really enjoy all the Spider-Man games, and so
Yeah.
Naturally I'm excited for Wolverine. It's gonna be one of the very few instances this year where I'm gonna boot up my PlayStation. So yeah, Wolverine, man. Control Resonant is also coming this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I'm with you there. I mean,
I'd rather they made another Quantum Break.
Yeah, man. I take that in a heartbeat. Quantum Break
Underrated, massively underrated game.
Absolutely underrated. Yeah, was the best game since Max Payne from Remedy. I know a lot of people thought Alan Wake 2, others say Control. Not that those were bad games per se, but Quantum Break was just awesome. I really enjoyed Quantum Break. I did enjoy Control as well, but it didn't hit the same way like a Quantum Break. And I thought Alan Wake was a missed opportunity. Alan Wake 2 was good. I started it, I really enjoyed it, and then I somehow became the atmosphere was then just too much at some point, and I was just like,
yeah, too stressful.
Too stressful somehow, and repetitive, and the story didn't grab me as much. And so yeah, and then they announced obviously Control, because somehow for some reason Control is considered to be their big masterpiece over the last decade or so, right? And now they are bringing that into this third person melee combat style thing. I'm not 100% convinced on Control, man.
Nah, I never have been.
Yeah. Oh man, I ran out of gameplay. I need to change that really quick. There we go. Yeah, well, so, and by the way, this year also the Star Wars Galactic Racer game comes out that just got announced at the Keelys, right? So that those are the games that we do not have a date yet, a proper date yet, but just the target year for this year. And let's face it, this is gonna be an absolute massive game. From smaller titles like Replaced, High on Life, right? Pragmata, to games like Gothic, Plot of the Dawnwalker, Honored these big, Planet of Lana, yeah, Super Meat Boy, Resonance, Plague Tale, to really big AAA titles like Resident Evil Requiem, yeah, Crimson Desert, 007, GTA 6, Fable, Forza, Gears, Halo, Tomb Raider, Rise of Hydra, Wolverine, all massive AAA games. It's like this year is gonna be an insane year, right? Then we have these things about Starfield 2.0. We talked about that earlier, and the Witcher 3 DLC earlier. what about Assassin's Creed Black Flag remake or anything Ubisoft outside
no.
of the Prince of Persia remake? We really don't know.
I am completely Ubisoft out.
I'm not. I still do enjoy their games, man. Assassin's Creed Shadows was one of the best games I've played last year. I stand by that. That game was awesome. That was an absolute fantastic game. I'm not Ubisoft out. I get why people say, well, they always use that formula. Yeah, I get it, but it's a good formula. It really is a good formula. And for me, a game like Watch Dogs is different enough from a Star Wars Outlaws to an Avatar to an Assassin's Creed, right? And all those games were great experiences. To Far Cry, to even smaller games, the Prince of Persia game that they released like 1.5-2 years ago, right? The Metroidvania one was also absolutely fantastic. And they haven't announced shit for this year. We don't know, is there an Assassin's Creed coming? What's up with Far Cry? What's up with Watch Dogs? Is the Splinter Cell remake finally making its way to us gamers? Yeah, Prince Green in the chat agrees. Outlaws is very underrated. Yes, it's now in Game Pass, by the way. And I highly recommend to play that. It's a really good Star Wars game.
Better than Cal Kestis. I don't know about
that. You can't really compare the two.
Yeah, but if you're saying best Star Wars game, then
yeah, I didn't say best Star Wars game. I said it's just a really good Star Wars game.
Oh no, I'm just reading the chat. Best Star Wars game I ever played. I mean, that's obviously your perspective and your opinion, but I wouldn't put it against Cal Kestis.
Yeah. Well, the Jedi Survivor games, I absolutely love those. But I played Outlaws at launch with all the issues that they fixed by now, and still enjoyed it. It was just a really good. It was like they nailed this. Really, they nailed the mood of the original trilogy. It's the same vibe, the same spirit in that game. And even though you're not playing as a Jedi and there are no lightsaber fights in that game, it's still really a good Star Wars game that I cannot recommend more. So I'm not. I know it's popular to hate on Ubisoft, but I don't share that sentiment because I usually really do enjoy their games. I even enjoyed the Avatar game. Was it the best game I've ever played? No. But Assassin's Creed Shadows last year was awesome. I stand by that. It was one of the best games I've played last year. So yeah, Ubisoft is not going to let 26 pass without anything coming out. So whether it's a new Far Cry or new Watch Dogs, I think it's probably too early for new Assassin's Creed Hexen. I would be surprised if they would release that this year, after releasing Shadows last year. But maybe this heavily rumored for years now that we have this rumor of a Black Flag remake, right? That a couple of other things are going to happen as well. We have a lot of anniversaries, especially on Microsoft side of things, right? Xbox itself, 25th anniversary, Bethesda, 40th anniversary, Blizzard, the 35th anniversary. So what do you expect? What kind of celebratory plans do they have for all these things? What do you expect from them this year?
Are they all of those big anniversaries this year?
Yes, all this year.
Jesus Christ. See, because obviously with it being Xbox's biggest anniversary, I would expect them really to focus on that and let the other companies focus on their own anniversaries within that.
I agree. I don't think they will mix that all together in one.
Yeah.
That's why I
I think
expect
they'll
them.
let those individual
Yeah,
companies, as it were, even though they're part of Xbox, I think they'll let them do what they want to do for their celebrations as
yeah,
opposed to make them as big as an Xbox celebration. I think June you'll see what Xbox have got planned for their big celebrations.
yeah.
But I've got no idea in terms of Bethesda, etc. What they'll have planned. I couldn't tell you. I mean,
I have
Starfield
the unrealistic
2.0 could
hope.
be that.
Pardon, what was that?
Starfield 2.0 could be for Bethesda's.
Yeah, could be. But
And it could be an early teaser of Elder Scrolls.
That's what I was about to say. I know it's probably an unrealistic hope, but I hope that Bethesda, along for the 40th anniversary, right, will show off a glimpse of Elder Scrolls
Yeah.
6. That would be absolutely awesome. But yeah, Xbox wise, I expect them. I think I mentioned that earlier in the show, to not have a developer direct after the June showcase, in the sense of we are showing off one game. But I think that developer direct after the June showcase is a dedicated anniversary thing, where they show some of the legacy, something from the future, and celebrate that. I also believe that with that they announce the next gen, by the way.
Yeah, I can see them doing that. Even if it isn't ready, I can see them kind of talking about what the next gen's got entail and saying we expect it to be like some point next year.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree. Exactly, that's what's going to happen. Any other surprises from Xbox this year? Do you expect Clockwork,
No,
State
I
of
think
Decay?
I think no. I think they're mostly focused. Yes, they've got so many games, and Matt Booty once again said we've got a lot of things that we're going to release this year, and that's outside of the big ones.
Yeah.
But I also don't expect them to just chuck everything at the wall again.
Yeah.
Because as much as we want them to just release everything, from a rollout standpoint for them, it doesn't make sense to do that.
Yeah.
Like, as much as we'd love just a AAA game every month from them, I mean, we wouldn't, because we don't have the time to play them all. But we would at the same time, because that would just be like silly. It wouldn't make much sense for them. Like, one every other month, i.e., 6 big AAA games in a year, which they have.
Yeah.
If you have a think about it, you've got Halo, you've got Gears ED, you've got Fable, you've got Forza Horizon. There's 4 already. Then you've got Call of Duty.
Yeah. Yeah, agree.
God knows what else.
Agree there.
So even as it stands, you've got one big AAA a quarter as it stands, minimum. If you increase that to 6, that's one every 2 months.
Yeah. On average, that's
on average. That's not including any smaller titles they might have in that we're not aware of. Because Toys for Bob still exists, and they're still making something for Xbox.
Yeah, true. Spyro is what is heavily rumored, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'd taken a brand new Spyro because we've had lots of Crash over the years.
Hey, maybe it's the year where we finally learn about Banjo's future, right? For the 25th anniversary. Would be cool. There's also the heavy rumor of, well, something hardware related. I think it was Jess Corden who put it out, that towards the end of the year they are going to release an Elite 3 an Elite 3 controller, not Elite.
We'll see.
Elite controller. I think that would make sense.
I mean, they need to do a revised standard controller, I think.
Yeah, but they are going to do that with next gen.
Yeah, but if they're going to do a revised Elite, then they may as well do it with the next gen controller. Otherwise, the Elite's going to be outdated again.
Is it though? Is it? I mean, if it features already a couple of things that, I mean, listen, the Elite 2 now is basically still the same like the Series S and X controller, except that it doesn't have the share button, right? So it really depends on what are they doing with the next controller. And I think, and this is not me knowing anything, this is really just my gut feeling. Since they are heavily going for cloud gaming, yeah, just now at CES they've also announced new TV manufacturers with the implemented cloud xCloud app, Hisense, and so on. I think they might bank on that idea that Google with the Stadia introduced, where the controller directly connects to the cloud, yeah, in order to reduce latency. And I think that this is the big thing for the next iteration of controllers, and they could very well bring that to an Elite 3 by the end of this year and still bring it with the next gen as well. So, because they are not going to really redesign the controller, it will still have the asymmetric sticks, the ABXY layout will be the same, and so on. They are not going to change that substantially. And so I feel like the Elite 3...
It needs to have Hall effect sticks, it needs to have severely refined triggers and bumpers that don't wear out really quickly.
Absolutely. But you don't have to wait for next gen to bring that to an...
No, but that's what I'm saying about the standard controllers. Like, those are also things that they can put into the standard controllers.
Agreed.
Never mind the fancy haptics. Like, you don't have to have that in the standard one, but they do need to get rid of the traditional analog sticks and replace them all with Hall effect. Third-party companies have been able to do this for a while now with Hall effect sticks at really low costs. So there's absolutely zero reason why a big company like Microsoft can't put Hall effect sticks in all of their controllers now.
Agree.
Which would just completely eliminate stick drift.
Yeah, true.
And likewise, solve the bumper and trigger issues on both the basics. And then you get your Elite, you can have your haptic fanciness in. That's fine. But I think both of them can do with a nice little refinement and more of an internal improvement than an external improvement.
Yeah, well, let's see. Do you expect any surprises from PlayStation this year?
No.
Unfortunately, I'm with you. I think
I expect them to just do exactly the same thing. I think they're going to release one major outside of Marathon, which I don't
and Marathon, which Marathon is going to be dead on
Wolverine,
arrival.
Essentially, the only thing that's going to be
is a super niche game. There will be people that love it, but it's no doubt it is a niche game, and they will have their one heavy hitter with Wolverine this year. I doubt that they we hear or see anything surprising from PlayStation this year. Yeah.
No, I don't think so either, and I think they'll continue the tradition of not doing any actual showcases and just give us a lame state of play.
Yeah. Maybe they do what that they put another trailer for Intergalactic in one of the state of plays.
Oh, God.
I've seen people speculate about Santa Monica finally revealing their...
hopefully, because Intergalactic does nothing for me.
Well, I did enjoy The Last of Us. Absolutely, they were fantastic games, and Uncharted. So I'm confident that Naughty Dog is going to deliver a quality game. I just don't think it's going to come out anytime soon. And with that, I highly doubt that Intergalactic is even coming in 27. I think that's a 28 or maybe even a 29 game.
Yeah.
And Cory Barlog over there at Santa Monica is apparently working on a sci-fi game, right? We have heard that story for 5, 6, 7 years now, and we haven't seen shit about it. So maybe they do announce that, because beyond Wolverine, the only announced game on the roadmap is Intergalactic, and again, that's probably not going to be a 27 game. So at some point, they kind of have to show what 27 has in store for PlayStation fans, right? But yeah, then on the other hand, what projects do they have after killing all these games as a service titles? And studios like Bend starting all over again in 25, right? We're not going to see anything soon from them. And yeah, I don't think that we will see any big surprises this year from PlayStation. They are good as it is. Their console sells well. Their numbers are good. They really do not need it, right? This year, and so I don't think we will see any surprises. Anything from Nintendo you expect this year?
Yes.
What is it?
Yeah. Well, you've at the beginning of the year, in February, you've got the next Pokemon Direct. So it's likely you see Generation 10 of the Pokemon being announced, which is actually going to be relatively big. It's rumored to be called Wind and Waves as the two versions, and that's going to be a large open world game that will introduce new mechanics, allowing you to almost essentially traverse any of the map as usual. So it's going to be more of a traditional Pokemon game again, turn-based, as opposed to Legends, which is more of an action turn-based game, as it were. So it's definitely going to change. There's a lot of rumors about that, and that's again set for February-ish time when they're going to be talking about that. But I also expect Nintendo to potentially talk a little bit more about what's next for the likes of Zelda, etc., because it's been a while since we've had a Zelda and a new Mario.
Yeah, on Zelda, I'm not sure. I think it might be a little too early for that, but I feel like this is the year where we finally learn about the 3D Mario, the next big 3D Mario. Yeah. I agree. Well, Dutch, anything else for 26 that you're looking forward to, that you expect to see or expect to happen?
No, I mean, my two biggest ones this year, as you're probably already aware, is Fable.
Yep.
Fable and Forza. Definitely the reason I'm looking forward to Forza is because, like I said, it's the first one on a specific generation of console where it doesn't get a previous version that's going to hold back anything technically. Should change things up a little bit, should add more customization. It's a very well requested map eventually coming to life. Everyone's been asking for Japan for ages. Remember a couple of years back when I interviewed with Playground, them asking about that and kind of asking about what maps and things they think they should do, and I was like, oh well, Japan has to be up there, and they were like, yeah, that's like one of the most highly requested even internally is that we do Japan. So eventually they're doing it, and I think that'll look absolutely beautiful. I mean, imagine just driving. You can imagine now anyway driving through cherry blossom kind of orchards and things like that in Forza Horizon, and the way that team do the stunning visuals that they do in the Forza games.
Yeah,
it's going to look something special.
Absolutely.
And of course, being a Pokemon nut, looking forward to the Gen 10 on Pokemon. But yeah, I'm thankfully I'm not one of these that are like overly hyped for GTA. I don't care. I literally don't care.
I actually am excited for GTA.
When it comes out, it comes out. I'm not bothered if it gets delayed.
Yeah, I don't want to hype myself too much because it's so likely that it's going to get delayed again. And so taking that out of the equation, for me, it's definitely Fable this year that I'm looking forward to. Gears E-Day, I'm really excited for that as well. And Crimson Desert. And of course, the Witcher 3 DLC, if it's real. So, but yeah, not that I'm not looking forward to Forza, or not that I'm not looking forward to a Halo and a Tomb Raider, and it's just, again, so much awesome stuff coming. Resident Evil looks fantastic. It's gonna be really good year for video games this year. All right, Dutch. We are already 2.5 hours into this podcast, man. We still have the community questions, and another topic I wanted to discuss with you about RAM and possible console delays. Maybe we can keep that real short and brief.
My kitten is literally attacking one of my trainers right now. Yeah. It's dragging it around the room by its laces.
All right. The RAM prices exploded over the last 2 months, right?
Yeah.
And everything is affected by that. It's not just consoles or PC parts that have gone up.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen people talk about the RTX 5090 going up to a possibility of $5,000, right? TVs, everything is affected by that. But one discussion point in the community was that due to these massive price increases of RAM, it is a possibility that the next gen consoles are going to get delayed. I mean, nothing has been announced so far, right? But everyone assumes that by 2027 we will see get the next gen Xbox, right?
Yeah.
With PlayStation, I see also a couple of people talk about as if the PlayStation 6 was supposed to come out in 2027. I'm not really sure where that comes from, honestly, because even PlayStation said that they expect the PlayStation 5 gen to be even longer than the PlayStation 4 gen, and that would put the PlayStation 6 at least in 28, more in 29.
Yeah.
That was what I've always expected. That's why they did the mid-gen refresh. Xbox didn't do that, right? And Xbox was supposed to launch earlier. So with PlayStation, I don't think this really is a discussion because it was supposed to come out anyway. More likely 28 or even 29. But RAM prices for Xbox, do you think this will impact their release schedule and that they actually shift the console?
No. I mean, a lot of it's already been, I would imagine at this stage anyway, a lot of it's already been predetermined. Pricing wise, as you know, yes, they can be internal. We're talking about the increases that are impacting the user end in terms of how much an RRP price is going to be for some of these units for people as opposed to the production end. Yeah. And although there will be supply increases or cost increases on production end, for the most part, a lot of that is absorbed in the initial discussions of the agreement that they had. So whilst there will be some increases, and there will be, do I think they're going to have a major impact on the pricing when it comes to the consoles releases? No. Do I think it's going to have a delaying effect to it? No, I wouldn't imagine so either. I don't think the cost increase is something that's going to delay production.
Yeah.
I think ultimately it's just going to be a case of how do we decide on the eventual price for this when we come to announce it.
It will definitely impact the price of the thing. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't see it being, so for instance, if because Xbox have said they're touting the next one as being more arched towards a premium consumer.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think because of the price target that I think they're going to be going for, which I believe to be up and over 800. I don't think that the pricing is going to be too dissimilar from that particular target anyway. It could be maybe 100 more than initially expected, but I don't think it's going to be a case of like you mentioned, the 5090 going from like 3 to 5 or whatever it is. I don't think it's going to be a wholesale, okay, almost doubling of the cost. I just don't see that happening. And because that on both PlayStation or Xbox's side just isn't feasible from a consumer perspective. Like, you can't justify putting that on a shelf and expecting people to buy it, no matter how much of a fan of the brand they are. Like, there's not enough of an uptake. There's also not enough of an uptake, even if you have a look at the pro version of consoles that have always came out. There's never been enough of an uptake to justify just doing a pro model. Xbox themselves know now anyway that they're in this kind of weird space where they're going, right, we're not really competing with anybody now on the console space because we're kind of just doing our own thing. So we're just going to target a niche premium consumer. So therefore, kind of this is what we're price back it's going to bring. Whereas PlayStation aren't doing that. And they'll have this weird conundrum where they're going to have to think about, okay, so we're going to have this pro model that only gets us a couple of million units in comparison to what our base model is. What's the pricing going to be on that? So I don't think ultimately it's going to have a major impact on the consumer end. It's going to have an impact, but not major.
Well, it depends a little on what you define as major, right? I think the pricing will be actually heavily impacted.
But if I was going to say though, if you're already hitting, let's say you're already hitting 1,000 as a target, and then that price is 1,100 now. Yeah. If you're in that 1,000 bracket mark anyway, the person that's going to buy that isn't going to really be phased much about a 1,100 over 1,000. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Even if it's the original target is lower, and let's say they said, okay, our target is 700, which would be for a premier console at release already be an unprecedented case because PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X launched at 500, right? But we all expect it to be at least 700 anyway because, well, prices of consoles have gone up anyway already, the old ones, yeah. So of course it will have an impact whether you charge 700, 800, or 900. That will have an impact. And the thing is that there are a couple of things about this actually. The first is, will there be an alternative? And that's the thing. There is no alternative, because then people will come out, oh, I just buy a PC. Yeah, please do that. But PC prices have gone up as well, right? Then I'm going to buy a PlayStation. Trust me, even the PlayStation 5 will be impacted by that as well. It's not gonna stay this price. Sony is not going to be able to keep that price up with these RAM prices, and that's the thing. It's also not a temporarily thing. I highly doubt that RAM prices will go down again, right? It's very similar with inflation. Once prices are up, they stay up. They never come down. And it is so this massive RAM price is nothing that will be gone in 3 months. It will not be gone in a year, and it will not be gone in 2 years. First of all, the AI hype is not going to die off that quickly.
Absolutely not.
And even if the demand there or production volumes go up and demand goes down, the prices will not follow the same trend in the same way like they've gone up. And so this is a whole discussion about delaying the console because of the RAM prices is, I think, ridiculous to think about that, because how far will you want to delay? Do you think in 2030 it's RAM prices are down and then we can release the console $200 cheaper way, and that's why we delay our console so long? Not gonna happen. There's also, RAM is not the only part in a console. There are contracts in place. They have to take chips from AMD. They cannot just willy-nilly say, well, we decided 2 years later and AMD is not going to make a business out of this, right? Not going to happen. I also don't think that you actually can delay it, because you have designed the console with a certain spec, right? If you delay that thing a year or two, you will release old hardware. It's not like let's delay the console and then we just build in the next best chip, then that's a new console design. It's not gonna happen. All the R&D that went into it, not gonna happen. Yeah. So I don't think the RAM prices itself will cause a delay of the console. I think it will impact the price heavily, though. But that's the thing. Since PC prices and everything else is going to explode, or all are already exploding like crazy, yeah, there's just no alternative to it. And the next Xbox is gonna be very different, because it's not gonna be a subsidized console anymore. Yeah, so it's gonna be more expensive anyway, and with it not being a subsidized console, they are not going to need to sell that many units anymore to make it a profitable thing, because they are making money right off the sales. And the next Xbox console is also basically going to PC, because we already know that it's going to run some sort of Windows, very similar to the ROG Xbox LEX and S, right, with a full screen experience. And the next Xbox is basically a PC anyway. And the business model is not anymore to sell the Xbox OS, and with that the Xbox Store, it's to sell the Windows Store. Anyway, you're getting the Windows Store, not the console store again with the next one. I'm not saying the next Xbox is not running the console games. They will have back compat, but essentially you're buying a PC anyway, and then it's up to you. Do you build your own PC with the super expensive parts, or do you buy the super expensive console? It's the very same choice that we have right now. Basically, do I buy a console, or do I build a PC? The PC is gonna be more expensive still. Also more flexible, no doubt. But you know what I mean? It's just everything is going to go up, and it will also impact the PlayStation 6, and that's why I don't think that the price issue is a reason for a delay. But yeah, let me shout out how to pronounce that name. Woolney Bakes, something like that, for a €5 super chat. First of all, thank you so much for the support. It says Happy New Year and Happy Xbox 25th anniversary. Yeah, first of all, Happy New Year to you too. Thank you so much for the support. And yes, it's Xbox 25th anniversary, and I think we will see a fantastic year this year from Xbox. No doubt about that. And sorry for butchering your name. Hard to pronounce. Well, Dutch, anything you want to add to this hardware console delay thing before we move?
Negative.
All right, then we can move over to the community questions. Like each and every Wednesday, you guys can write in questions or topics you would like us to discuss. We put up dedicated posts for that on all the social channels, on YouTube, of course, but also on X, Blue Sky, and so on. And we don't hide the questions behind a paywall, so everyone can write in. And this week we got a couple of good ones. First comes from Pyromat. He says, I hope I'm not too late to add this question to the show. So here it is. What game in 2025 have you put the most hours into, and did it surprise you how much time you spent? For him, it was Zenless Zone Zero. Yeah, for me, it was Ball X Pit. With Ball X Pit, I'm a little above 100 hours. I need to check again. I did check that, or saw that like a week ago or so. I put in, I think, 110, 120 hours, and this was my most played game last year. And I did not expect Ball X Pit to be the game that I play the most at the beginning of the year, no doubt. But it was just, or it still is such an addictive game. Love it. Dutch, what was your most played game last year?
What do you think?
Yeah, Pokemon.
Yes.
Pokemon.
It's 160 hours on Legends EA so far.
It's crazy. Dude, that's crazy. Yeah. All right. Ironclaw Gaming writes in and says, I have a question. What do you guys think about Wolfenstein 3 being all but confirmed, and what chances are there we could see the return to Castle Wolfenstein be remastered now because of that? So I don't think that they are going to do remasters for Wolfenstein.
No, they're going to introduce. I don't think they're going to go back to JD Blazkowicz. I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to bring somebody else in.
For Wolfenstein 3, they're definitely going back to Blazkowicz. But I don't think that they are going to do a remake of one of the old ones, whether it's Return to Castle Wolfenstein or anything else. I don't think that they are going to do remakes for that. But yeah, Wolfenstein 3, all but confirmed. It makes so much sense to bring that along with the TV show, right?
Yeah.
So, all right. The Big Bridge writes in. It says, hey, Boxy and Dutch, wishing you and your loved ones a very happy and prosperous new year. First of all, to you as well, to the entire community. My question for the new year is, you are at a bar on New Year's Eve. The mysterious bartender serves you a special brew that makes you remember your video game moments from 2025 with utmost clarity, joyous and regrettable. You unflinchingly gulp the malty beverage right at the strike of midnight, New Year 2026. So, which video game moment from 2025 would you like to relive once again or do differently? Shall I start?
Yeah.
I had a blast getting the ROG Xbox Ellie X. I just love getting new hardware, and honestly, the ROG Ellie X has changed my gaming habits so much. I use this probably more than my console now.
Yeah.
Just love handheld gaming, and this is such a good one. And it was such a blast when it came out. I spent an entire Sunday just lying in bed, playing games on that thing, figuring everything out, how it works. And this was just probably my best moment in gaming last year. So yeah, I would like to relive that again.
mine's on the same breath. For me, it was the Switch 2, and again, same reason, handheld gaming. You know, obviously, I've kind of diverted away from getting an Xbox handheld for the moment, but it's exactly the same thing. I've been really out of a gaming like funk for a while. So being able to play what is essentially a hyper casual game like Pokemon, but being able to play games in general when I've been in a funk and being able to do it handheld, so I don't have to sit in front of a big TV and be able to just play a little bit. Yeah, I've absolutely loved having the Switch 2 since that released as well. So that's my thing for 25.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You would love the Rock Xbox, Ellie. You need to get one before the prices go up, dude, because and it will not take long. Asus has already announced that they need to increase the price.
Yeah.
Go and get one. ASAP. Now. That's why we're ending the show here now. So you can go buy the Xbox, Ellie. We are at the end of this podcast. I want to say a massive thank you to this awesome community who joined us here today for the first podcast of 2026. It's good to be back in the podcast game. And I had a blast on this first podcast and many more to follow this year. So we do hope we see you guys next week again. Again, a happy new year to everyone who listened, watched us here live today. Everyone who listens after the fact on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen. Happy New Year, and thank you for joining us here today. That's before we let everyone out. Anything you would like to address for the new year?
No. I hope everyone has a great year ahead. Enjoys the gaming, and of course, you can just find me here every Thursday / every other Thursday, depending on news.
Yes.
And yeah, again, happy New Year to everybody, and let's hope it's a good year.
I've no doubt it's gaming-wise, it's gonna be a really good year. So
fingers crossed.
Yeah, fingers crossed. All right, guys. So we hope to see you guys back next week. Regular time, Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. UK time, 8 p.m. Central Europe. And the weekend is near. I do hope you enjoy your games. I will be playing a lot of Diablo probably, as well with probably a little Witcher. I haven't really decided what's my next big game. Leaning towards Ghost of Tsushima. Haven't played that yet.
You mean Ghost of Yotei?
Pardon. Yeah, Ghost of Yotei.
I mean, you can play Ghost of Tsushima again if you want, but
nah. All right, guys. Well, I see you guys. We hope to see you next week. Until then, don't forget to game on.